the pants.
Okay.
Take
We're
H.
recording.
All right.
Welcome to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, the best
He didn't
looking
notice
guys
I'm
on the
not wearing
radio.
a couch on
We
my
all
head
know
today.
the funniest things
I know.
happen. Stop taking ourselves too seriously and step out boldly,
hot.
like Mr.
Still need
Magoo
a
blindly
straw hat.
stepping
I
onto the
know.
big swinging girder and
Maybe one
falling
of our
into an
fans will
outrageous
ship me a
jackpot.
straw hat.
Nice.
Your hosts, Daryl and Ed, are about to administer a refreshing dose of
I
laughter
expect
and
a
love
great
that
show
will
today.
inspire you
Yes.
to step out boldly
We
and
have
experience
high
the funniest
expectations.
things. Now, here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed.
Hey, welcome to Funniest Thing, where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Yes, it does.
I'm Daryl,
And I'm Ed.
and we're broadcasting live from middle school studios in downtown Culver City, the heart of Screenland.
That's right. Not only that, but we are broadcasting internationally to over 170 countries.
I didn't even know there was that many countries.
We got fans in all 50 states.
That's true, we do.
We got some great mail today in the third segment.
And so I just want to say before we forget, you're going to want to stick around. Oh, we just got word. It's 119 countries.
Hey.
We got some fans
Yeah.
that are out of this world on those remaining 51 countries.
Yeah. For some reason, I have a feeling that number's a little, that 119 is a little low by about 52.
It's conservative. So
Conservative.
We're being humble here. You're going to want to stick around to the third segment because we're going to share 10 tools to get into a state of positive expectation,
Which is
Today's-
really great for today's show.
which happens to be what you expect is what you get. But wait, I got to say one more thing, Ed.
What?
This is episode 120.
Yes, it is.
That is a lot of Funniest Thing episodes, ladies and
Think
gentlemen.
about Jeff Comfort. How many? That's 120 hours he's sat with us through this. That's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. No wonder
Right,
he
he only
looks
fell
so good.
asleep once.
Yes, that's true. Only once out of 120 episodes.
Oh my goodness. What you expect is what you get. God sets no limit to the amount of joy, happiness, and freedom you may experience. Look at this show, for example. Look how much freedom and fun we have, and happiness and joy. However, what you receive will always be in direct proportion to what you expect. This is awesome, because during the second segment, Bennett Tanton, a veteran who served in both the U.S. Army and the Marines.
Yes, two.
Yeah, one wasn't good enough.
No, this guy
This
served
guy's
in
amazing.
both
He's also
services.
the founder of Warrior Hall. He does great work with the veterans.
Oh, yes, at his current position
Yeah.
in Delaware.
Yeah, so he is dropping by to read and discuss today's daily word, which is prosperity.
I can't wait. Now, do you want to do the three breaths right now?
Oh, it says it all. Let's do the breath.
Yeah, let's do the breaths.
This says it all. Let's take a breath because we could both use a little grounding.
Yeah, I'm a guru.
Yes, you are. Let's take a
I
breath.
was talking about you.
You're talking through you. My heart sings when I expect good things.
My heart sings when I expect good things.
My heart sings when I expect good things. You know what's amazing is after that song that Comfort played for us before the show, I'm surprised we didn't go with My Fart Sings. When I
That's
expect
true.
good things, because that can also be true.
It is true because you're feeling so good. I'm giving us the little. That's known as a foreshadowing to our guest in the third segment.
We have foreskin for you. Okay.
Now wait, I got some good definitions here.
Yes.
The night we were preparing for the show,
Yes.
I went home and I was thinking about the word expect, and I was thinking about believe.
And Daryl's like he's like a little wizard in the middle of the night. He runs around by candlelight because he'll awaken before the show, grab that candle with the little holder, and rush into your study and put the little pin, the feather, into
Yes.
the ink, and he writes down whatever thoughts come through. He's a channel in that
I'm
way.
actually wearing the exact same pajamas as Scrooge.
Yeah, the Ebenezer the morning after, like
Yes.
the show we did.
That's
Scrooge
true.
the morning after.
Yes. And so in the middle of the night, I thought, wait a second, let me look up, just out of curiosity, I wonder what the actual dictionary definition is of expect.
Uh-huh.
And here it is. It actually is. This is it. Expect is to believe, to imagine, to anticipate.
Yes.
And then I remembered Emerson had a great definition of prayer, which is prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view, not from a low point of view.
That's right.
It's expecting big things. He goes on to say, it is the soliloquy of a beholding and jubilant joy. It is the Spirit of God pronouncing his works good.
You know what? That's a good point, because when we have part of positive expectation is us realizing how important it is for us to pronounce our life good, our work good.
Yes.
Everything that is going to happen, call it good in advance as well.
God made everything and he called it good.
That's right.
And then, of course, from William James, which we've shared this before on our show in previous episodes, but it's worth sharing again here. Prayer is the general name for that attitude of open and earnest expectancy. And, of course, our friend Jesus just happened to say, it shall be done to you as you believe it to be. And now that we know the true definition, he could just have easily said,
right.
It shall be done to you as you expect it to believe.
Right.
And Eric Butterworth, a quote from his book, says, you don't get what you want in life, but you always get what you expect.
Right. And so this show is going to save you a lot of time and energy, because one of the things that Daryl and I both do before we go out and under any undertaking of any sort is to look at what do we expect in our heart. Because if we have a negative expectation, the tendency is either to run away, but if you end up going forward, it's to try to push through the perceived limitations and roadblocks and stuff that we're projecting out there onto our own path.
Yeah, you could tell what you're expecting. If you're worrying, you're not expecting good things.
Right.
And what happens, like what Ed's saying, is I start inventing things that I have to push through.
Yeah, and what's going to happen a lot of times is I'll be going along fine, but the negative expectancy at some point, because it's so fear-based, will grab the wheel.
Yep.
And I'll start taking action that is not really in harmony with what I want, with who I am. And so it's better to invest some energy into addressing our negative, if we have a negative expectation, and blessing it and working with ourselves so that we get into a state of positive expectancy, or at least in a state of surrender and kind of neutral openness to something better happening.
Yes, because we're always visualizing.
Yes.
We're never not visualizing.
That's right.
What I mean by that is whenever I'm going to any situation,
Yes.
whether I'm getting on the on-ramp to the freeway, whatever I am heading towards,
Yes.
my mind already, our minds are designed this way, begin to expect.
Yes.
Is it going to expect, oh no, there's probably going to be traffic,
Right.
or is it going to expect, you know what, I'll get there, perfect timing, God's in charge,
Right.
nothing happens by mistake. But the good news is, although we may not think this is true, is we have the choice.
That's right. And, I was just thinking, even scientifically, no matter what angle you come at, your mind your focus is the sort of the control center, because if it gets negative, your adrenal glands start firing,
God.
your nervous system starts to shift around, like your glandular system starts to react, and so then you start perceiving and acting in ways that are not really, again, in harmony.
It becomes a vicious cycle.
It really does. And sometimes we underestimate how important it is to look at where our focus is, because we don't have to totally get into a saintly mode, but sometimes
No.
even just being aware and just owning the fact that we're kind of in a negative expectant state and realizing we're going to have to walk lightly that day, even that alone can change things.
Yes. Awareness itself, honest awareness, is 99% of the cure.
It's so true. It's so true. We got a few readings that will go well with this. This one I found this yesterday, Peace Within Yourself from Joseph Murphy. Go to DarylNed.com. On our show script pages, all the readings from the show will be there. On our reading list page, all the books we read from will be there. So this one comes from page 215, It says, begin now to feel the presence of God in all your transactions and in all your problems. So this is a great way when you're in your morning routine or even before you start the engine in your car.
Yes.
This is a good practice. Your new idea of life teaches you that the only way you can drive a negative thought from your mind is to supplant it with a positive, constructive thought. This is the key to health, wealth, and prosperity. The practice of these simple truths will give you faith, hope, and confidence. Go out on the limb with God. Go out all the way. Have implicit trust. Have faith in God's eternal, unfailing supply of health, wealth, and all things. This faith will magnify, grow, and expand in a wonderful way. Your state of mind is your wealth. It is the coin of the spiritual realm.
Yes, and your mind is made to naturally accept bigger ideas once you start imagining those bigger, positive ideas.
Yeah, after we do these 3 readings, Daryl's going to share how this exact using positive expectancy actually led to the purchase of Middle School Studios where we now stand.
Yes, and speaking of our readings, this one comes from The Power of Decision by Raymond Charles Barker. And he says this, and I'm reading it from page 55 and a couple other miscellaneous pages. Your decisions regarding the near or distant future should always have a loophole in them. They should never be final. Place no false mortgages on the great business of living. Expect the unexpected. There is nothing wrong with creative optimism. It is using your mind as mind intended itself to be used. That is, for the production of something better than that which has gone before. I'm going to follow it up with this. There has to be an expectancy of approaching good for a mind to be healthy. It is obvious that there are no final problems. There is always a solution to any situation. This is not only a platitude, it is a truth. Every remedial science and art is premised on this truth. There is always a way out. Mental expectancy is the key to mental health or mental depression. And the last bit is this. And this may be shocking to some, but it is so awesome.
Yes.
And it is this. Spiritual thinking is never now thinking. Finished ideas are not creative. Unfinished business is life. It is mind creating the new and the improved. All evolution is evidence of a progressive mind thinking in new terms to bring forth improvement. This process is in you. In fact, it is what you are.
Dude, that's a really good one. Especially that part about, see, we think about things in the now.
Right.
But our creative imagination is meant to be engaged in a state of positive expectancy about what is to come.
Yes.
So I like that because I know a lot of people, and myself in the past included, who think the spiritual path is sort of like there's something wrong with having expectancy about what's to come. Like, no, I shouldn't have any Like, my goal is to have no expectancy. And Daryl and I would like to say good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Because we would hear this phrase without it being explained, which is low expectations, high serenity. Well, that's just a phrase, but it's based on, yes, keep your, trying to control situations is what that's really saying.
Yeah, we don't know how the positive results are going to come.
Right.
And that's what they're talking about with low they're trying to say let go of what you expect it to look like.
He says expect the unexpected.
Yes, we're talking about expecting it. Are you expecting it to be positive or negative? Are you expecting it to feel good or feel bad?
Yes.
And we always have a choice, and we're always going in one of those directions.
And here's the best news of all. The reason it feels bad when you're expecting bad things or you're worrying, the reason it feels bad is because your thoughts are moving in a false expectation. Life flows in a positive direction.
Yes.
God is a positive God. There's nothing negative about God. So when we start cooperating with that force, we feel good. We feel alive. We feel present in the now.
And you know what? I just got this image of the subway, like a busy day on the subways in New York and I think everyone can imagine this. All the people are moving towards the train.
Yes.
It's like, when we're thinking negatively, we're trying to go through that crowd in the reverse direction. And we can even look around and find a handful of other people who are also, no, we're going to fight. Dude, Because turn around and go with the flow of life. Find some expectancy of positive expectancy.
And just one thing,
Yeah,
it'll
'cause
start you moving in that direction.
It's taking you toward the train
Yes.
where you want to go. Now, I'll give you one quick paragraph, and then we'll hear your story about middle school studios. From Ernest Holmes, 365 Days. It was 365 Science of Mind. One paragraph, he says, this is from today. It says, "It is only as you live affirmatively that you can be happy. Knowing that there is but one spirit in which you live, move, and have your being, you are to feel this spirit not only in your consciousness, but in your affairs. You are united with all. You are one with the eternal light itself. The presence of spirit within you blesses everyone you meet, tends to heal everything you touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone you contact. Therefore, you are a blessing to yourself, to humankind, and to the day in which you live."
Yes, and a fascinating way of how we ended up with middle school studios. And Ed, let me throw in anything I forget.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, well, my wife and I first moved here. We lived in Marina del Rey.
Right.
And within 30 days, we were told after living there for several years that our rent was going to be doubled from $900 to almost $1,800.
Right.
So I said, Lori, we're better off buying a place at this rate.
Yes.
So, thinking logically, thinking reasonably, I thought we'll get a one-bedroom condo.
Yes.
And the most condos were available were in Santa Monica.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, this makes sense.
Right.
Nothing we saw was under $2,200.
Yes.
And you would think I'd be like getting discouraged, like, oh, what are we going to,
Right.
now what? We'll just be renters. But because I've gotten to the habit of this expectant belief, I was like, okay, I wonder what good's going to come out of this.
Yeah, because it looked like the door was closing. That door was closing.
Yes, and now my limited mind could take over. My reasonable mind could take over.
Right.
So that was a Saturday. I woke up Sunday morning, and Lori came to me and says, you know what? What if we get a duplex? And I said, I can't believe you just said that. I was thinking the same thing.
Right.
Now, that would seem unreasonable.
Right.
Because now I'm going to get two units,
Yeah.
homes that are going to cost more than one,
Right.
as you would think. So we told our realtor that Monday.
Right.
Funniest thing, she goes, I got one that just came up on Tuesday.
Right.
And it was in Culver City.
Yes.
Whoever heard of Culver City,
Go
right?
ahead and tell them what they used
Well,
to call it.
people
at
used
that
to
time.
refer to Culver City as Culver Shitty.
That's right.
So I was like, all right. But you know what? Something said, just go. You have nothing to lose. God's in charge.
Right.
I stepped inside the one house in front. I said, oh my God, this is beautiful. And the realtor who was showing the place said, and there's one more in the back. And what it was two separate California bungalows with separate street addresses. It's not even like a duplex. It's
Right.
better than a duplex. It's
Yes.
two separate homes with separate yards. It's way more than I could have imagined.
Yes.
And with the renter,
Yeah.
once we got a renter, it actually ended up costing, based on how much that went to our mortgage,
Right.
the same price for us as our original rent at the marina.
Amazing.
To live in a little one-bedroom
Yes.
apartment. We now had two California bungalows. And then what happened within a few years, all the gourmet chefs opened up restaurants in downtown Culver City. Then all the art galleries moved right to the street that my street's perpendicular to.
Yes.
And now when me and my wife mention we live in Culver City, they go, well, we're in Culver City. And we tell them our address, and they go, you live in the arts district of Culver City? And none of this would have happened without general expectation that God is working.
Yeah.
Keep your ideas big.
Yeah, and you always say, and I believe I think Dugan maybe got you going on this, I wonder what good can come out of it.
Yes. And always end your request, your expectations with this or something even better that I can't even perceive.
Yes. Speaking of something even better, coming up next, Bennett Tanton, veteran who has served in both the U.S. Army and Marines, and the founder of Warrior Hall, drops by to read and discuss today's daily word, prosperity. Thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio.
He's being very quiet. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Does that mean he doesn't have Bennett? Ah!
Comfort's looking a little Mr. French-like right now.
He is Mr. French. If he was like the human version.
Yeah.
Okay, he's dialing. Go ahead, video. Wait.
I hear a laugh.
I don't know if that's Bennett or if that's. Oh, look at him!
What's up, guys?
Look at
Hey, wow.
he got his hair cut.
Nice.
I tore it all off, man.
Dude, man, you're lucky you could pull it off. You got a good head. Mine's like a acorn.
That's funny.
Awesome,
Oh,
man.
my God. We are excited you're here, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna introduce you once this starts, and then
Well,
we'll
no, we're
pull you
going
on.
to do,
Oh,
we got to
yeah.
thank listeners
Thank
and do a few
listeners.
other things, and then we'll get you on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just got off the phone with Michael Penny,
Uh
and
oh.
we were like talking about he's like, what are you going to talk about? I go, well, I told him what the word of the day was, and he's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of just falls right into place with everything that we do. So
That is so
Awesome.
cool. Yeah, we were so psyched last week with Michael on the show.
Yeah.
yeah, man, he's great.
man.
He's a go getter.
You're
No
not
doubt.
kidding, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he's an animal.
He's like typing, taping. He's insane.
So, yeah, between I mean, we're all really busy between because him, I, and then Tim Parkhurst, which I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah,
Bill.
yeah. I'm in touch with him too.
We all do the Cigars and Sea Stories.
Yes.
And then Tim and I are partners in this Warrior Hall.
Right.
And I mean, Mike and Sebastian, our other buddy, are all part of it too. But oh man, it's just some serious synergy going on.
Yeah.
In the veteran space.
Well, we're gonna bring that up. We're definitely okay. Here we come. He's not playing the music.
No.
Can you tell I'm sweating like crazy in here?
All right.
Oh,
Welcome back.
Wow, nice.
What'd you expect?
I was definitely not expecting the unexpected.
That's right. And what you expect is what you get. That is today's show. It's all about positive expectation.
Yeah, it's not only allowed, it's recommended.
That's right. It's going to lead us up to today's daily word in a couple minutes here, which is prosperity. Those two things go hand in hand.
Yes, and we're actually at one of the favorite parts of our show because we
Right.
get to thank our listeners.
Yes, we do.
We appreciate. We got a lot of new fans on Twitter. We got 9 new friends on our Facebook page,
Yes.
and we appreciate you downloading and sharing our episodes.
Yes.
And we love our fans. I mean, Ed and I would be doing this anyway at a coffee shop in downtown Culver City, just talking to each other.
Yes.
But we'd never be able to be experiencing what we are now if it wasn't for all of you.
It's amazing that now when people are listening in on our conversations, they're not annoyed by us, like maybe if we're in some of the coffee shops we hang out with.
True.
All right. Well, thank you, listeners. Let's thank the man who makes this whole thing sound good and has 120 hours with us on the air.
Yeah, he's burnt out, passed out at the audio board.
Yes, and that
that's
is our friend.
audio engineer, Jeff Comfort. And each week, he takes us
right into the comfort zone. Yeah. Can't tell if the jet went by. We're not hearing the sound effects in our earphones right now. So,
It went by.
okay, good.
Oh, it flew by. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
That's nice of him.
Well, I got the soundproofing at Middle School Studios. It's
Yes,
outstanding.
yes. So, time for a shout out to the prayer line, which is 800 Now Pray, 800-669-7729. They also have an app for your smartphone, which is the letter U Pray. You Pray. It's free at the App Store. We use it all the time.
Yes.
If you want a good tool to help you switch from negative expectancy over into positive expectancy and prosperity, then call the prayer line because their team of affirmative prayers will
Yes.
get you right online.
Yeah. It definitely, even just sitting on hold, you'll start hearing their hold, the wait music is actually someone speaking positive affirmations.
Yes.
So already your mind starts to move into a higher altitude.
Just talking about it, I actually got a boost remembering
Yeah.
what it's been like when I've talked on the phone. My dad just got out of surgery. involving his
Literally,
brain
just now.
And I sent a prayer to the prayer line, and I have a lot of friends and family praying, and amen. They said I went very well, and he's doing well. So thank you for all the prayers, and thank you to the prayer line for the support.
Oh, and an update on someone we prayed for on our show a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Judith. Remember Judith Straw
Yes.
from the newspaper here in Culver City?
Yeah.
She ended up having the surgery on that day. We had our show.
Oh, right.
And I just got word from her that everything's clear. Her lymph nodes are great. All the
Wow.
cancer's gone. Yeah, so she's back to 100%.
That is so fantastic. That is fantastic. Now,
Yes.
before we introduce the guest, let me just read a little bit of the his bio.
This is like the dating game.
Because we want to tell, there's a little something funny about involving positive expectancy.
That's
About
true.
the first time Daryl met our guest.
Yes.
And his name is Bennett Tanton. Bennett this comes from warriorhall.org. We'll hear about what that is and when we bring him on. But Bennett is a former reconnaissance Marine and U.S. Army infantryman. He has deployed as part of JTF 6, executing counter-drug operations, multiple operations in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and a multinational force operations in Egypt. So this is safe to say a hardcore dude, right?
Yeah, a veteran, of course. This is the real deal.
And, you met Bennett where?
Yeah, I met Bennett at the Entrepreneurial Veterans Boot Camp in Syracuse. He was one of the members there.
And you told me when you were talking, you saw him in the crowd.
Oh, yes.
What were you thinking?
Well, we were at a dinner. We were thrown into, we had this dinner I was invited to go to the night before. And on the spot, we all had to introduce ourselves.
Yes.
And it comes to me, and I look in the crowd, and like, at the end of the table,
Yes.
he actually looked like, you know how I refer to Marine Corps Gunny Sergeant Mike Urton?
Yes.
He actually looks like what Mike Urton looked like when Mike Urton was
Kicking
Bennett's
you in
age. Yeah, and kicking me around. Yeah, but in a very positive way. He was kicking me
you-
up the
Yes,
stairs. Yeah,
yes,
not
yes.
down. So, and he has he looked serious to me.
Yes.
The look on Bennett's face was very stoic. So I was like, okay, that guy, I just have to stay focused on the positive, because if I start like thinking I gotta win this guy over, forget about it.
Yeah.
The funny thing of that is, it just goes to show you, I just kept my mind high, like positive.
Yes.
And after the next day's presentation, I got to say, this guy turned out to be, I identify as much with him as most of the people there, with the exception of, Joe Williams, who I had a close affinity with. And one more thing I want to say about, these guys like Bennett and last week Michael, Marine, these combat veterans, they say love of country. And maybe some of our listeners haven't wrapped their heads around what that really means, because
Right.
it's thrown out there, it's patriotism. You could throw it in this soup of weird thought. But this is what it means, ladies and gentlemen. What it really means is these guys love you. They love Americans. They love the civilian population so much that they're saying, look, you folks, you stay here. Just don't worry about a thing. We're going to go there, and we're going to take care of everything for you, because we love you.
That's right.
That's what love of country means. when they say that.
Anyone who has any issues with the military should really listen to what you just said. And the best thing that we can all do is hold that space.
Yes.
To bring out the best in ourselves and all of our people who are serving our country.
Yes.
Because that really is what it's all about.
That is what it's all about.
If you listen to Let Go and Let God Do It, our episode from last week with Michael Penny,
oh, yeah.
you will be just as on fire as we were. So I highly recommend that. But now let's bring in Bennett Tanton.
Hello, Bennett.
What's up, fellas?
Listen to that voice.
And what's funny is a lot of people laugh because just like Daryl said, they look at me and they're like, "Ooh, man, this dude's like business." And then they hear me talk and they're like, "Oh yeah, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
he's definitely a Marine or something." But to expound on what you said with like love of country, yeah, that's what it's all about, man. We as veterans just, you don't do what we've done unless you. It's just about being bigger, about being part of something that's bigger than ourselves, and we do that with our service. But then we also, the majority of us, push through that even after service and just tried to add value to just our country because we love it. We love the people. I mean, all I want to do is help people be the best that they can be, period. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, after all said and done, I want everyone to prosper.
Yes, you do.
Dude.
I mean, we know that, and that's why I felt I identified with you so much.
Yeah. Can we hear a little bit about Warrior Hall?
Yeah, let's hear a little about Warrior Hall.
All right, so Warrior Hall is based upon the concept is this medieval mead hall type concept or figure like a Viking hall.
Yes.
Where guys, warriors, at the end of the day, they had the beverage of their choice. They probably ate some kind of meat off of the spit, and just were merry with each other. Talked about the war stories, talked about whatever, and this is the concept that I want to bring to the veteran community. It's not like a Legion Hall or a VFW Hall. It is along those lines, but it's more along the lines where we can all get together, smoke and joke, and just kind of just be ourselves outside of a realm of not being there's no judgment or anything like that. We can just be veterans, and then along the lines helping guys, combat veterans transition from being combat veterans to being civilians, and them and their families, and just kind of that community feel. That's mainly what it's about.
Yeah, we gotta have that.
And that's at warriorhall.org, right? Warrior
Correct.
Hall. And so anyone who wants to support it, participate in Warrior Hall can go there and find out all the
and learn more about it.
Yeah.
And we're getting bigger and bigger every day. So it's just a matter of the more time goes by, the more services we're able to offer, and sooner or later we'll actually have a physical location. But
right
now it's more of a virtual Warrior Hall, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's still helpful, man. And we
awesome.
appreciate it. Yeah.
It sounds like Cigars and Sea Stories goes hand in hand with Warrior Hall, correct?
Absolutely. That's just it's so much fun and just a pleasure to just be in that veteran space and just add value to the community. Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, and for our listeners, if you want to learn more about Cigars and Sea Stories, listen to our last episode, which was Let Go and Let God Do It.
Yes.
And that was with your partner at Cigars and Sea Stories, or one of your partners, Michael Penny. That being said, would you like to read the Daily Word now? Because our station manager, as you can hear, that's Mr. French, is telling us it's time for the Daily Word, I think.
Yeah, because
and Gabby's getting
in the
mail
room preparing that, so they get a little excited.
All right, the Daily Word today is prosperity. Divine ideas prosper and bless me. In the spiritual realm, abundance is an infinite ocean. Prosperity flows into my life according to how much of it I am ready to accept in my consciousness. I can approach this ocean of absolute potential with thimble, a bucket, or a pipeline. All the wealth of God is waiting within me for my willingness to experience it. I completely open myself to divine ideas of abundance that urge me forward and give me a sense of purpose. I am inspired to accomplish great things. I am filled with new and vibrant energy. I courageously act on divine guidance and experience positive, uplifting, and prosperous results. I accept and welcome an infinite ocean of abundance. I am grateful for divine ideas that prosper and bless my life. In all that we do, they prosper. Psalm 1:3.
I got to say one thing before I ask about your thoughts on this, because this kind of reminds me, it's like, this is that expectant attitude that keeps us alive. It kind of generates these creative ideas that, like you're creating Warrior Hall and the Cigars and Sea Stories.
Yes.
And us doing this show.
Yes.
It's like, it's all like for the benefit of not just ourselves, but prospering everybody.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing. It's just that wealth of like energy within you.
Yes.
That just you literally feel it.
Yes.
If you just open yourself to it, it's gonna flow in and flow into your life as long as you remain open to it.
Yes.
It's like one of these things my wife and I always joke, because I had a really good paying job before I went into all this stuff, and either way, after all said and done, we've remained open to prosperity, I guess is the best way to put it, and we have what we call money fairies.
Yeah.
That kind of, just because we're open to the universe and we just believe that we're going to prosper, that we're always okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So and literally it'll be like, the next thing you know, like, man, we've got like $30 in our checking account. Next thing you know, a $250 check comes from nowhere.
Yes. It's
And
all yes.
And where do you where does that come from? And,
Right.
and literally it's open. It's because you're open to the idea of it.
Yes.
And just, into that prosperity in it. And it definitely is a two-way street. So I look at it as we have to open ourselves to it, but in turn, with that, we also need to project that, because it sticks to other people.
Yeah.
No
You know what?
doubt.
We were just talking before we started taping today
Yes.
that Ed and I do this show, because we love sharing this stuff.
Right.
Right. And if Ed and I either one of us got hung up on, well, we deserve to earn an income from this specific avenue just because we love it. Or if you're an artist, like my
Yeah.
painting, just because if I don't get paid for paintings, then I'm not a real artist. That cuts us off
Yes.
from all these other channels that support us.
If you're doing it for that reason, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yes.
So,
And it shuts down all, like, the money fairies are like, oh, well, forget him. He's not even looking in our direction. You know?
right. That's
this,
right.
But this way, we were just saying, Ed and I go, isn't it funny? Because you and I, we both make more than enough.
Yes.
Support our families and do this show. It's
What's the
it's
word we were using last week for someone who has money and they donate?
Oh, we like to think of ourselves as wealthy, healthy philanthropists.
That's right. So we approach everything we're doing
As
philanthropists, because it's like we come from God. The whole teaching, the kingdom is within us. We came to this earth not as to be beggars, but to be philanthropists, to share the good that is within us. And like you said, the more we share it, that's a big part of being like opening to the flow, so that it keeps more comes by being philanthropists.
and it doesn't even have to just be money.
No.
It's monetary. Like one of the big things that I remember about Daryl, the first time I met him, is him and I had a conversation about guilt. And that, he holds guilt, I hold guilt, but once again, with this whole prosperity of knowledge,
Yes.
he gave me the name of this book called Goodbye to Guilt.
Yes.
And literally I went out and bought it as soon as I got home, and that's prosperity too.
Yes.
It's a matter of just sharing the knowledge
Yes.
and the wisdom that you have
Yes.
to better your community and better who you come in contact with every day.
That's what I thought about
like
with
literally just that easy, just that little
Yes.
thing. Like check
Yes.
out this book, changed my life.
That's like what I heard when you were talking about Warrior Hall. By giving a place where whatever's inside can be transmuted into joy and sharing and communion, it gets you back in the flow of life. And that's the same way with me when I connect with anyone, with teachers
Yes.
sometimes who are teaching from the same place I am.
Yes.
I get so charged and I just get right back in the flow of life, and then I have more to give back.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say one thing. That book is Say Goodbye to Guilt by
Gerald Jampolsky.
Yeah, and that's on our list if any listeners are interested in that. And also, I firmly believe this is like true with Warrior Hall's concept and all these other things we're talking about today.
Yes.
Is I believe that the two most healing words in any language are me too. Me too. Once you're willing to share whatever it is you think I better not share this, I don't know what it'll think.
Right.
But when you let that go in the the mode of service. Like, okay, I'm gonna open up here, and be of service. And I'm not gonna hold this back because
Right.
I'm embarrassed about how he may take it.
Right.
Because I feel this could be benefit to him, a benefit to him. Boom. Then they say me too. Then all of a sudden, healing. I'm like, it feels so nice
Yes, it
to be a
does.
part of instead of apart from.
That's right.
I completely agree. It's just awesome.
All right.
I love it.
I can tell you do, and we love you. And Bennett, thank you for coming on to the show today to read the Daily Word and share all this great knowledge and joy with us and everyone that's listening.
It's been a pleasure, guys, and enjoy yourselves.
Oh man, it's great seeing you. We'll
You
stay
too,
in
brother.
touch. We'll stay in touch.
The only string attached is now we love you so much. You're on our list of people that we're going to hit up to get back on the show sometime.
Yeah, so you'll be
no.
back.
Anytime, guys. Anytime.
Oh, thank you.
And tell your wife we said hello as well.
I will.
All right, great. Coming up after the break, our pleasure, like I said, and warriorhall.org. You can find out more about Warrior Hall. Cigars and Sea Stories is the name of the podcast.
Yeah, .com.
.com. And I love a cigar, as Bennett knows, so I love the show. So coming up after the break, we have the joke of the day, listener mailbag. We got 10 great tools for getting yourself into a state of positive expectancy from Honest Abe.
Yes.
So thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio.
This one is called the
Ah,
Pants.
now.
Take H.
You didn't tell me.
Well, we were going like this, but you were asleep.
I thought you just wanted you to turn it up.
No, we didn't hear a thing.
Have I
But
turned it up?
YouTube people, this is what all part of the process of making a show.
yeah.
No, I agree. We were just as much in the bad because we didn't say anything about it. Daryl and I have such broad imaginations. Daryl and I can imagine all sorts of reasons why things are happening.
Yeah.
So we don't always speak up. So we'll take
That's all right.
credit.
The listeners heard everything. They're okay.
Yeah. Good.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My wife just texted me. She's like, you did awesome.
Oh, is
Oh,
that your wife? Who's
fantastic.
that? Is that daughter?
That's actually one of my daughters.
Oh, hey.
That's Daryl and Ed.
Hey!
And this is Addie.
Addie!
Oh, hi.
And I don't know where Georgia is. I'm the father of 4 daughters. So.
Wow.
Wait, so you live with 5 women.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're the envy of every man, isn't it?
That's
Well,
right.
I don't know. It could be
I
tough.
don't know about that. All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, we love
guys
you,
are the
man.
best.
Bye, girls.
Yeah, I listen to you every week, so.
Dude, that's
I love
amazing. Thank you, Bennett.
So good to see you.
God bless you,
man.
man.
It. Too, brother.
Tell everyone else we said
by the
hi.
way- By the way, Daryl, I am running around your old stomping grounds, man. I live in. I'm working for the VA in Delaware now,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
and I head to Cape May one day a week.
Oh, good.
So-
Boot camp.
Right, and that's where I'm at.
Awesome.
It's at the Seabock on the Coast Guard station, and then I'm everywhere from Northfield, New Jersey, all the way down to Georgetown, Delaware. So
Oh, man.
yeah, man, I'm all over Southern Jersey. So
That's the best part of
which
Jersey.
I know technically you're from Northern Jersey,
Yeah.
but you spent plenty of time down south.
Well, I definitely spent plenty of time at Cape May swimming in December. That wasn't
Oh,
smart.
my God.
Absolutely. So, all right, guys, love you. I'll
Love
talk
you
to you
too.
later, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.
So you're going to be the little lad on the balcony.
Okay. And you got the reading? 10 tools.
10 tools.
These guys are amazing.
Yes, they are. Talking about these vets we have on the show.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Dude, it's awesome.
Some shows have gurus, ministers. It's amazing. Our ordinary folk turn out to be the ones that give me the most lift.
Yeah, well, they say gurus from dark to light, and all these guys
Oh,
are
then they're
demonstrating.
We now return to the funniest thing. Here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed, the best looking guys on the radio.
Welcome back. We're
Yes.
so happy you stuck around. And this is the 120th episode of
Yes, it
Funniest
is.
Thing. And
120.
it's what you expect is what you get.
That's right. And when we say expect, we're talking about, are you expecting good to come into your life? Or are you, afraid? And it's okay to be whatever one is true in any moment is
Right.
okay. It's not like we're not trying to tell you we're always in a state of positive expectation, but we're saying we invest our energy in directing our mind when it gets off track back into a state of positive expectancy.
And this is the moment that we've been mentioning throughout the show that all the listeners are probably waiting for, and that's the 10 tools to get you into a state of positive expectation.
And this comes from this weird looking like computer programming looking manual that we actually got at the Spiritual Center for Spiritual Living in Inglewood.
California.
Yeah, Inglewood Center for Spiritual Living, which we might be there tonight for the Metaphysical Bible Study with Ken Gray, who's going to be on the show in a few weeks.
That's true.
He's a minister. He's awesome. Anyway, I got this book. I think Daryl put it on the table because he likes to grab books either as a joke or whatever and put them on with my stuff.
Throw him in his bag.
But this one turned out to be great. And it's called A New Beginning 2 by Abraham/Hicks. And on page 217, they're talking about 10 simple ways to get yourself into a state of positive expectancy. And it says, seek joy first and foremost. Seek reasons to laugh. Seek reasons to offer words of praise to self and others. Seek beauty in nature, beasts, and other humans. Seek reasons to love. In every segment of every day, look for something that brings forth within you a feeling of love. Seek that which uplifts you. I hope there's 10 of them. Seek opportunity to offer that which uplifts another. Seek a feeling of well-being. Know that your value can only be measured in terms of joy. And that's something that we really practice and believe in. Like, because when we're in a joyful state, that's when we're the most service to others.
And we attract bigger and brighter ideas and creative solutions to your problems.
And it turns into something better than expected outcomes. So let's see. And then the last one is, this one's good to think about because I thought about this earlier. Acknowledge your absolute freedom to do any of these things or to not do any of these things. For it is without exception your choice in every moment of every day. It's a choice we get to make in each moment.
Yeah, because that's what is so wonderful. When people are nice to me, I thought about this, we mentioned it on a previous show. It dawned on me, why does that make me feel so good when someone just like smiles or says hello out of the blue? It's because I realized they chose to do that.
Yes.
They chose to be nice to me.
Yes.
Anytime, even someone at a counter, you think, well, they're just working here. They're just doing their job. No, they're choosing to be nice and friendly to you. That's an exchange of love.
Yeah, you know what? I used to think, in a way, I would judge people who were too happy. Because for some reason, because it was a choice, I don't know, I had this idea that it was like only some people were like kind. I don't know, there's like, I don't know what it was, but I used to judge it like if it's a choice, then it's not real. But sometimes sometimes I choose to be kind and joyous, even when I'm not quite yet believing in it. And now I'm finding that is actually more true to who I am.
Well, think about it. Do you ever feel good when you choose not to let that guy come in off the ramp? No, I'm ahead of you. That never feels good. But every time, I've never felt bad choosing to let someone go ahead of me in traffic. I've never felt bad about that.
There's a false kind of lift that comes from going in the adrenaline route and cutting people off or whatever. But this is something that I've started looking at in my own life, to start to recognize the difference between something that's like just out of anxiety or adrenaline and something that's actually joyful.
Oh my God.
Because there's a difference between like, when you just like relieve just a little bit of anxiety by like,
I got my way.
Yeah, getting your way. There's a difference between that and actually really living in a joyful reality.
You know why? Because that gives credence to that slogan, short-term gain, long-term pain. Yeah. Meaning, like, I'm investing in long-term pain when I'm doing these short little selfish things. Yeah. But when I choose to be kind and generous, I am investing in long-term joy.
Yeah, and sometimes that means letting go of long-term belief that somewhere I got in there a long time ago that strangers weren't friendly, they wouldn't like me, that they would judge me, because all that stuff just gets in the way. That's a negative expectancy.
Yes.
And right now I'm learning to reprogram my own self to expect, and based on experience that it proves true time and time again, that the people I encounter are loving.
Well, we were strangers until we became friends.
Exactly.
Your wife was a stranger Until you
Case
know,
in point,
my wife
exactly.
was every best friend you have
Yeah.
was once a stranger.
Gabby and Mr. French.
Yeah.
And Ducky, my cat, my son. Okay, well, why don't we go and tell this little story out of the news that we just heard about.
Oh, yes. This is a great story.
Yeah, you might call it a joke. Some might call it a joke. So you're going to be the character of the 8-year-old son.
Perfect.
The only way to pull off a Sunday afternoon quickie with their 8-year-old son in the apartment was to send him out on the balcony with a popsicle and tell him to report on all the neighborhood activities.
So this is a couple, I assume.
Yeah, there's a couple, and there's only they to get in their afternoon delight.
Yes,
they had to send their son out onto the balcony and to give him a popsicle, and then he would tell them everything that was going on in the neighborhood.
Wow.
So
There's a car being towed from the parking lot.
he shouted. He began his commentary as his parents put their plan into operation.
An ambulance just drove by. Looks like the Andersons have company. Matt's riding a new bike. Looks like the Sanders are moving. Jason is on his skateboard.
After a few moments of this, he announced,
The Coopers are having sex.
startled, his mother and dad shot up in bed. Dad cautiously called out, son, how do you know they're having sex?
Jimmy Cooper is standing on his balcony with a popsicle.
Yeah.
Oh, final. She has been howling the whole episode. We got some good mail, I bet. Oh.
Oh, wait, first of all, let's thank where did the joke come from this week?
Oh, Nina Malloy in New Jersey.
She has given us some of our best material.
Yes, she has.
Yes, so the first piece of mail I wanted to share came through today, I believe.
Actually, if any of our fans have a joke that you think is good and worthy of being shared on the air, send it to us. You can go to our website at darylanded.com.
Yes.
And also, we're advocates of the Daily Word. If you go to our website at darylanded.com, there is a link there for a special offer, an introductory offer for an incredible low price on your first subscription
That's
or any
right.
subscription of the Daily Word.
Yeah, we need all the help we can get with those jokes, as you know. All right, so Christine Robom
Well, she was a guest.
on Facebook today on our Funniest Thing fan page said, TGIW, thank God it's Wednesday. I've been on a Katy Perry kick, so I was rocking out on my drive this morning when I usually listen to your archives. About 15 minutes from my destination, I thought, I can't go into this meeting and start my day without the uplifting inspiration of Daryl and Ed. I scrolled through your archives briefly at a red light and clicked at a random, and it ended up being a show that I hadn't heard yet.
Wow. Well, you reminded me earlier. You said, wow, just knowing that somebody used our show as a positive tool to get into a healthier state of mind before going into a meeting, that is a high compliment.
That's right.
And we
Especially
appreciate
someone
it.
like Christina who's been on the show, yogainyourworkplace.com. She's from Oakland, California.
And I just realized we're probably another positive thing about Wednesday. It's not just a hump day.
That's right.
It's Daryl and Ed Day.
Yes, that goes perfect with our joke for today.
And
Okay.
this one, do you want to read this one? This one comes from Stephanie
you read it.
Harrington. And this one's a funniest thing because this one came from Colony, New York, and I believe they got a population of about 8.
That's right.
And this is so unique. As she says, hello, gentlemen. I'm a listener in upstate New York and love your show. In one of your previous podcasts, you mentioned you traveled near where I live to play with a donut band. They weren't near you. Ed was actually in Colony,
That's
New
right.
York. And this is where she grew up in Allamont, New York, just outside of Duanesburg.
Waynesburg is where we recorded our album.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What a coincidence! What Unity group did you come to here? I'm just getting more familiar with Unity and would love to meet local people who get together with others with the same vision. I love your show and energy. You guys help me get into a positive mindset when I'm unable to do it on my own. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Well, right now I could just send you to my partner in Coconut Donut. His name's Kurt Naus. I could send you to his grandmother's house. That's actually where I stayed. And then we recorded at the recording company, I think it was called, or something, with Tim Lynch. But we'll any listeners out there who know any Unity or like-minded kind of groups in the area, feel free to hit us up on Facebook or through our website, darylanded.com, and we'll get that information out to you, Stephanie.
Yeah, and if we hear of anything ourselves or find anything, also the Unity website
Yeah.
Unity, I believe it's unity.com. If not, we're going to send that link to you via email in response to this letter.
All right, we got a quick story from Rachel Gallant from Manchester, New Hampshire, who said, "Hi, Daryl and Ed. I have this amazing story to share. Last Wednesday, I saw this plate. Mary is my mother-in-law."
License plate.
Yeah, it was a license plate that said, "I love Mary." It said, "Mary is my mother-in-law's name, so I thought it would be fun to get a picture of it. When I approached the older couple in their car to ask if they wouldn't mind that I take a picture, I noticed that they had a little statue of Mother Mary on their dashboard. I mentioned to them how much I love Mother Mary and how I pray to her every night. She comforts me when I'm anxious and helps me sleep when I'm restless. They were the sweetest people. The gentleman said, yes, she will wrap her arms around you and hold you tight.
Nice.
The older woman proceeded to show me 2 pendants she had on a necklace. One was made of metal, the other of gold. She said the gold one was given to her by a friend. When she received it, it was covered with a blue casing. She would hold it in her hand when she prayed the rosary, and the blue casing eventually fell off, and it was the same color as the metal one she now has now, only that in time it turned to gold. It turned to gold over time when she held it in her hand and prayed the rosary. After that transformation, her friend told her that she should get a license plate that says Love Mary, and here it is. So we'll post that on the page for this week.
Yeah, we'll post a picture of that. But wait, I got a special guest I didn't tell Ed about. He's here. It's Carl Lee Simon. This is my Jewish friend from college.
Oh, hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Carl.
Good to see you again, Daryl.
So what's up? You used to be a sad sack in college. What happened?
Well, ever since I heard your show, I learned about having positive expectation, right? And I realized that my expectations are
making them great.
God's not keeping me waiting.
Visit DarylandEd.com to find easy links to everything we do, including the Funniest Thing podcast on iTunes, our YouTube page, our Twitter feed at Daryl and Ed.
WarriorHall.org!
And check out Funniest Thing fan page on Facebook and like it.
CigarsAndSeaStories.com!
And as always, thank you for being part of Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed on Unity Online Radio.
My expectation I'm making them great. God's not making me wait. Woo!
Thank you for